Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about what it's been like for me to do Airbnb. I've been doing it now since 2015, and I was teaching at a university, which I still am, and wondering about some kind of side income. I'd been reading about side hustles, Uber and things like that, Airbnb. I knew about Airbnb, and I didn't quite believe the hype about it. I went on their calculator, I remember, and it tried to see how much money I would make from one of our places, and it was a lot. So I found it difficult to believe that we could do so well there. We have a couple of houses in the countryside of Japan near Hakone, and their Airbnb calculator calculated that we'd make quite a bit of money. So I thought, I don't know if I really believe that. But I started thinking about it a bit more. I talked to some friends. I talked to my brother. Your friends mean well, and they have your best interest at heart, in general. But if you talk to your friends, I find they tend to say, no, don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to be so much work. And it is a lot of work. And they mean that, and they mean well. But they sometimes can't see the potential of things. So I think before you talk to your friends about any business idea, really have it solid in your head about what you want to do, what you think, and then have them kind of point out some of the things that maybe you've missed. My wife is good for that. She often tells me where I've gone wrong. Good for that. So if I'd listened to my friends, I would never have done anything. Fortunately, my brother was on board and just said, you have a couple of empty houses. Why don't you Airbnb? And as I said, I was thinking about Airbnb, but I was thinking about starting a gym because I wanted to get in shape, and maybe we could have a gym at one place or a cafe or something like that. But anyway, I finally decided to use one room in a house. We have a Canadian house that we shipped from British Columbia, but we had moved to Kawasaki. So we had this house, as I said, near Hakone, and it's a beautiful house. And so I thought, I'll get one room ready, and I'll fix up the house, and we'll try it. And man, it was full. Basically every day we were booked in May. I discounted the price, and I'd offered free tickets to a local hot springs. But still, I thought, okay, wow, this it's a discounted price, and I gave away free tickets to the hot springs, but there's potential here. So, what else did I do? Anyway, we fixed up the house. A lot of things needed to be fixed. A lot of work, a lot of stress. But the house has never looked better. It looks really good now, better than when we lived there. So yeah, it slowly took off, and then I decided, wow, okay. So we had these two buildings, so we were lucky, But I think, to be honest, I think that's what starting a business is. You sort of have to look at yourself and what are my skills? What am I good at? What do I have going for me? We happen to have these places that were available, and the thing I didn't want to do was start a business and fail. I wanted to make sure it was a good thing. So yeah, that's what we did. So if you are thinking about Airbnb, my advice is to use their calculator, and it will give you an accurate measure of what you can make. Yeah. So yeah, do trust it. You don't be like me. Trust the calculator. It's not a gimmick. You can make a lot of money doing this stuff. So if you are going to be thinking about doing Airbnb, you really need to look at yourself and your personality. Are you a patient person? You know, can you answer many questions, many of the same questions? Because you get a lot. Are you open-minded to different cultures? I had to learn the hard way that different cultures, of course, they're different, but you learn so much about different people. And there were some things that went wrong. Certain groups of people did certain things, and I just decided that I was going to get really good at dealing with those people. So I read about different countries in Asia, because most of our guests are from Asia, and what to expect and sort of how to deal with that. A lot of our signs are in multi-languages, so that helped a lot. And I like people. I like meeting people. But I like meeting people, and I like dealing with people. But I really like starting businesses and then getting them on their feet and sort of running themselves, passive income, basically. So I have an English school as well. And getting people to work for me, having things set up and having people work for me is what I really enjoy. And then dealing with guests, sometimes I have to read their emails and things like that. So I've got my staff online. I've got a staff that are near the two guest houses. I'm actually quite far away from the guest houses. And theoretically, you could be a digital nomad. I mean, you could work anywhere as long as you trusted your staff. So our staff, we use line message, and I email them, and my staff are all Japanese. And with Google Translate or DeepL, you can translate into Japanese easily, but they understand some English, so I can do that too. And it's pretty lickety split. It's been pretty good. I've got a good staff. I'm really lucky. So if you wanted to do that, some people don't. Some people want to do all their own cleaning and all that, and fair enough. But for me, I wanted to set up the business. I want to be able to meet my friends and play poker and know that the guest houses are being run well. And here and there, I have to go out and do things, of course, and I want to. But it's nice to know that I have a staff that can do that for me. One thing I found surprising was I actually really enjoy decorating. So that was a surprise. I really enjoyed thinking about the guest houses, and I wanted to have kind of a theme at each one. The Canadian house is it's a Victorian style house, and so I wanted to have kind of a European feel, but with a bit of Canadiana thrown in, because it did come from Canada, and I'm from Canada. And one room's a Harry Potter room. We have a lot of Harry Potter stuff in it. I actually don't advise doing a Harry Potter room, because there are a certain percentage of people who think that's dangerous or scary. But having some kind of theme is kind of fun. And then at the other guest house, which is not so far away, kind of just down the road really, at first we had a Disney theme, because I was thinking we'd get a lot of families. And then we changed that to kind of a 1950s, 1960s America with model cars from the 50s and 60s, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe. We spent a lot of money improving it. Excuse me. It was my wife's store at first. So it was my wife's store on the first floor, and then her apartment on the second floor. So this store is kind of unique looking. For example, the dining area is kind of raised up a bit, it's kind of fun actually. It doesn't have a full bath, but it's got a shower and a toilet. And so we spent a lot of money on just fixing the ceiling and a lot of things that make it look better, and soundproofing and things like that. New fridge, and fixing up the shower area, all that stuff. We had to get anti-flammable carpet and curtains and a new alarm system. So it has been thousands and thousands of dollars. So I would not get into Airbnb thinking you're going to make quick money. But I'm looking at this as a potential retirement income. I mean, I think it will be. I think it's going to be our pension. Even when you're really old, I'm 57 now. When you're really old, I mean, you can have a staff doing, most of the hard stuff, the vacuuming and bed making, all that stuff. And you can, basically be directing them by email or line message or whatever you want to set up. Right. Yeah, you'll find your house has never been cleaner. Our house was a nightmare before, but it's very clean now. Yeah, it looks good. Proud of it. I was talking about decorating before too. The second floor, so we have these two guest houses, and the second floor we made kind of a cowboy style, kind of Wild West style, and the guests enjoy it. So, I was kind of disappointed when I finished decorating the two guest houses. I wanted to do more, and I wanted to open a third guest house, but it's very difficult in Japan. You can do it, but it's a lot of work to get, jumping through a lot of hoops, paperwork, bureaucracy. The fire department has to come and check and then recommend what kind of fire alarm equipment, lots of things that you got to get done. So I think in the Japanese case, I think if you have a place available already, I would say go for it. I think in America and Canada and other countries, it's probably easier to start. I think the regulations aren't as tough. But in Japan, so far anyway, I've just decided to stick with the two guest houses and see how that goes. Because jumping through hoops was not fun. But I think probably if you're opening up in Europe or Australia or North America, as I said, I would think it's probably easier. Japan's quite strict about a lot of things. Yeah, it's interesting. Japan's not strict at all about opening your own English school, which I also did. Anyone can open an English school anywhere. Yeah, no problem. It's quite strange. They don't worry about having a fire extinguisher. I got that myself. They don't worry about that. But man, if you start a guest house, it's really a challenge here. The hotel association is very powerful in Japan, and of course they contribute to the political parties here, so they're big money. So what they say is very important. So they have a lot of pull. But I think it's different in each country. So I would check on that in your country and see what that's about. We are making money. Yeah, as I say, we've spent thousands of dollars, but we will make anywhere between in American dollars, $30,000 to $50,000 a year. And I spend, what do I spend? I maybe spend 1 hour a week on this job. So if I told you, you can have a job, you only have to work 1 hour a week, we'll pay you between 30 and 50 grand, I think you would take it. Now, mind you, I worked really hard to get to that point. It was a lot of hours, it was a lot of stress. I work better when I give myself a deadline. Otherwise, I just don't do it. So I just decided, okay, we're opening up the guest house on, May 1st. And I just made sure that everything was ready on May 1st. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. So I would try it. If you have a place and you're thinking of doing this, yeah, I would seriously think about it. Yeah, my guest house one is called Kevin's Guest House, and the other is Mary Lou's Guest House, and we're on Airbnb, so you can easily check what I'm saying. Business, of course, has been way down during COVID, and there are typhoons and things. One typhoon took out the train line in Hakone, so that was not good for business. What I've realized is, in the hospitality business, it's a risky business. So I personally would not make this your only source of income, but if you have savings and you have enough savings, you could use this as a retirement income as long as it's not your only source of income. But it's a really nice source of income as long as you don't have to rely on it. I feel sorry for some of the people who've done Airbnb and it was their only source of income, and then a hurricane or something happens in their area and they're it's tough. They have to close. So we this year we're probably looking at about maybe $20,000, but that's during a historical event. That's during a pandemic. We did get some government money because they gave money to the hotels, they gave money to the guest houses, but yeah, during a pandemic, we'll probably still make about $20,000 last I checked. So that's pretty nice. And again, 1 hour a week. So once you get it all set up, yeah. And you may not want to do it like I do. You may want to be hands-on, if you enjoy that. Some of the hosts really like, being with the guests. I just knew I didn't want to kind of be in the guest house with them all the time. I deal with them by email mostly. So, but yeah, I really recommend that you check it out if you're thinking about this. Yeah, it's not for everyone. But if you want a passive income, if you want to be a digital nomad and travel the world and have income coming in wherever you are, as long as you have a good staff, you can do it. So, yeah. I'll be making some more videos about this, and I'm going to probably make a class on Udemy about this as well. So, stay tuned. Thank you for watching.